This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Friday morning for all you religious folks. Happy, I guess, Good Friday. And, I want to tell you, I'm not a devil worshiper. And I hope there is a God up there. I'm just confused. I can't sit there and lie and say, I believe there's a God up there and he does good and blah, blah, blah. If I really don't, because if there is a God, he's going to know I'm lying. I mean, I hope there's a God. And my only problem with religion is when a baby is born sick, diseased, suffers for 2 or 3 years, and then dies without ever living. And then a religious person will say, well, God had a plan. See, that kind of puts me betwixt and between. I mean, if God had a plan for that little baby to suffer 3 years, and I'm not talking bad about God if there is one, and I'm not talking bad about religion. That's what makes me more of an agnostic. I'm not an atheist by any means. I have people say, you don't believe in God? No, I don't know what I believe in. If I wish my faith would make me believe in God. But, at this point, I just don't know. I mean, I can understand. I walk down the street and I get hit by a bolt of lightning. I probably deserve to die. But not a 2-3-year-old baby that's never had the opportunity to live. And that's not talking bad about a God. That's not talking bad about a religion. That's just being honest to yourself. You wonder why. And when they say God had a plan, well, hell, ain't the kind of plan that I want to be around. So whenever I say if there is a God, I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just being honest and saying I'm confused. And I think if most people were honest, by definition, they would be agnostic. Because there's no factual basis. It's a faith basis. And I understand that. And I wish my faith led me that direction. It's not leading me down the path of devil worship. I'm kind of in the middle. I know that I wouldn't be a devil worshiper, and I don't want to hate a God if there is a God, but until I understand more, me personally, I got to be honest with myself. And again, I think if all you people on the basis of factual, we're all agnostic because nobody really knows. It's just the faith. And I appreciate religious people because they do. They're lucky enough to have got the faith. They're lucky enough in their hearts and souls and minds to say, hey, there is a God. And I'm happy for them. I am more than happy for them. Elections coming up, and I'm going to be everything from a devil worshiper to a mass murderer. The Democratic Central Committee will probably say I started World War II and I wasn't even conceived in 1940s. 49, yeah, okay. But, it's amazing. And I segue this into politics. They talk about Bob Romanik. You shouldn't talk about women. I don't talk about women. I love women. I talk about some women who are in the political arena. Now they're going to flip the script like they did with Trump. And I'm not supporting Trump on this matter, but if I talk bad about somebody and it's a woman, it's because she's a politician. When a man gets talked about, they don't say, man, you're ragging manhood. You know, you can't have it both ways. If you get up in the game, you got to have the same rules for men and women, black and white. That's the problem. They want to pick and choose their rules. But for me to call Mrs. Kern Sasquatch, you know, a hairy skank, and here's Trump, here's Cruz, and I'm not for them or against them on this issue. Hell, they got their old ladies involved. This is a presidential race. And they think I'm a bad guy at a local race? Come on. I must have set the trend, and they're following it. I don't talk about anybody's wife or family if they're not in the political arena. I would have never talked about Mrs. Kern, and I got to say, she's probably a lovely lady. But once she got up in that political ring and put that nasty mask on and all that hair, then she becomes our enemy. She'd have stayed out of she could have supported her husband, and all these candidates, you're supposed to support your husband or wife. But you don't get up in the ring and jump on the opponent's back and interfere, because that's when you become part of the problem. But this election crap's getting out of hand. And actually, I'm going to feel honored, because I guarantee you, they put out those hit pieces on me, and all I needed was one vote. I'm living in the Democratic Central Committee's head rent-free. They think about me every day. Poor white trash from the housing project. A scumbag from the housing project. A son of a bitch that nobody thought would amount to anything. And I'm going to help. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to help change the course of history in St. Clair County. They put out hit pieces on me. Actually, I kind of like it. I'm kind of like a sadist. I like getting the hell beat out of me. But they're going to come up with everything and anything. And why I say that, our guest who'll be coming in shortly, State Representative Charlie Meier out of Oakville, the 108th Legislative District for this great state of Illinois, he's coming in. And Charlie Meier is not coming in to endorse me. He's a decent country boy. He's not coming in to endorse the way I talk. He's coming in to be transparent for all the people of the 108th Legislative District of Illinois. And that takes a man to do that. He gets heat coming on my show. He should get praise because he's got the guts to come on, and he'll take the heat because he wants to get his word out to the people, and that's what a fighter does. You can't be a good warrior and not get bloodied up in a fight, because it ain't a fight. You just got to be stronger than your opposition. And I want to salute Charlie Meier. I called him, and Charlie says, hey, I've got some things I want to discuss about my district. I said, Charlie, you know they're going to try to link you to me like we're long-lost brothers. Charlie Meier said, hey, I don't give a damn, Bob. This is America. You say what you want, even though I don't agree with you a lot of times, and I'll say what I want, because Charlie's on the same chord that I am, that our brave military heroes fought and died to give us the right to speak free. And we don't have to agree on free speech, what we say, but we have to agree that we have the right and the honor to live in this great country. So I want to salute Charlie Meier. He'll be on his way in. And again, when he comes in, I'm going to give the disclaimer. Don't hold anything that I say or do against Charlie Meier. Charlie Meier is a man of the people in the 108th District. Charlie Meier wants to be transparent. They put out a hit piece on me and invoked Charlie Meier. Charlie Meier has never donated a penny to me. He's nice enough to come in. He always treats me with respect. He's always cordial. He always represents his people with the 108th District like he should, very professionally. Doesn't dress the best now. I told you the first time I met Charlie, he came in, I thought, here's another slick politician going to come in, going to drive a new Cadillac, going to have a suit on and spiffy shoes. Charlie comes in an SUV, bib overalls on, and I think he had, I don't know if it was cow manure or just dirt from the farm, but this is a normal guy. This is a regular guy. He's not coming in to be something he's not. He's a good old farm boy who represents the people of the 108th District with pride. And that's the problem. Charlie Meier is a public servant. He's not a politician. He does for everybody. But anyway, Charlie Meier will be coming in momentarily. Let's take care of our housekeeping, and then we're going to go all over the place. We're going to talk about, maybe I'll bring it up with Charlie, the census, how we're losing population. We're going to find out what's going on in Springfield. And I'm still pissed off for the last day I'm going to talk about it. this no good son of a bitchin', good for nothing newspaper for that poor lady that died. Why they had to put all that bad crap in there. If it was their family member, they wouldn't want it. And that's the problem, people. None of us are perfect. But everybody wants to cast a bad light on everybody else. It's unbelievable. Now, cast a bad light on me. I'm alive. I can defend myself. But this poor lady who was killed in a horrific death had her, listen, people, and I don't want to, I do want to get graphic, had her head cut off, arms and legs cut off. All they found was a torso. Family missed it for 12 years. Even though they were estranged, families fight, but they still love each other. They're traumatized, and 12 years later, they find the body and find out it's their beloved daughter, mother, wife, sister. And we got to know about her background? Don't give a damn about her background. You know, they're going to bring that up. Bob Romanik's I made a mistake 18 years ago. These son of a bitches got no more to harp on because they haven't done anything in 40 years. And the hypocrisy is what kills me. The hypocrisy is what kills me. But this lady, and I had a guy last night, well, Bob, you're harping on that. You don't have a dog in that fight. Yes, I do. Because that lady, that woman was a human being. She was somebody's family member. And for the News Democrat, you rotten bastard pieces of crap, to have to put on the front page a mistake or two that she made. Nobody makes that big a mistake that they need to die for. Nobody makes that big a mistake that they need to die for and get their heads and their limbs cut off. And again, I want to give my condolences to the family. I know they're going through very hard times. And I would say, if a family member, and I don't know their position, but if they need some financial help, please give me a call, because I feel that's the least I can do. Because see, I'm like your daughter, wife, mother. I'm not dead, but I've made mistakes. And I guess I'm lucky enough not to die for my mistakes. Of course, the way I rag and expose these rotten bastards, I probably will die, but that's okay. You know the old saying, I'd rather die on my feet as a man than live on my knees. And that's what these no good son of a bitches in St. Clair County, they want to bring everybody to their knees. They want to bring us poor white trash, the proud black community that has nothing. It ain't what you got in your pockets, you rotten bastards. It's what you got in your gut, what you got in your heart that makes you a good person, not that money. You know, I'm running for state rep. I put $1 million in. I got $2 million more to put in. They talk about my bad money. I've got checks in my hand from investments for 30 years ago. And instead of buying a boat, instead of buying $1 million house down in Florida, I'm committed to the cause. I'm going to put my money. That doesn't make a difference if I buy $1 million house in Florida. It makes a difference for me, but not my community. If I put that $1 million to expose, or that $2 or that $3 million to expose these son of a bitches, then I've made a positive difference. And that's what I'm here for. Like to make a friend along the way, but I'll definitely, with the help of other people, make a positive difference in my community. 25th Annual Easter Egg Party today from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. to be held at the Caseyville Community Building, 909 South Main Street, in the lovely village of Caseyville, Illinois. Going to have hot dogs, soda, chips, and tuna fish. So that still amazes me. Never had a fundraiser where they had hot dogs and tuna fish, but a religious lady said, well, Bob, that's because Friday and some people can't eat meat. So I understand that, but instead of fish, they had tuna fish. So, hey, that's going to help the Caseyville Food Pantry, and thank all the great people at the Caseyville Fire Department Auxiliary for helping the cause. Trivia night. 10th Annual Trivia Night for the 4-H Club. It'll be held April the 2nd on Saturday, next Saturday, at Shreve Park in Mascoutah. All the benefits will go to the St. Clair County 4-H program. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can call 939-3434. Tim, thank you very much for the information. And you guys keep up the good work. The O'Fallon Annual Easter Egg Hunt will be held on March the 26th. I guess that's Saturday, from 1 to 3 p.m. at the O'Fallon Moose Lodge. They'll be hosting it, and it'll be held at the O'Fallon American Legion, 109 North Penn Street in O'Fallon, Illinois. Also, on Sunday, the next day, Easter Sunday, they're having their Easter dinner. Will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, held by the Moose Lodge sponsors. Be held at the O'Fallon American Legion in the great town of O'Fallon, Illinois. Millstadt Senior Citizens Porch and Sidewalk Sale will be held tomorrow at 102 South Jefferson in Millstadt. Hidden Treasures is going to have a lot of stuff for sale. It's helping out the senior citizens people. And Patty Avesco, thank you very much. Tomorrow's also the Millstadt Firemen's Annual Barbecue. The radio station will be out there. It'll be held from 11 a.m. till whenever. Eat in or go out. Any questions or concerns? 476-1234. The radio station will be there. Hope you guys will come out. And again, want to say hello to the great Millstadt Township Supervisor, Randy Eckert. Does a great job out there in the Millstadt area. Rich Smith, thank you for the information. Good Friday Fish Fry to be held this Friday, today. Well, tomorrow, Saturday. What's the date today? Where's my damn calendar? It is the 20th. Okay, never mind. Forget you heard that part. To be held today, Good Friday, March the 25th at the Lebanon, Illinois Fire Department. Again, thank you guys for your service to the community. Boulder Dash will be playing Saturday, tomorrow night from 7 to 11 a.m., $10 per ticket. It's a charity for the United Local Way Agency. They'll be performing at the Sportsman's Club. Great venue, 1535 North County Road in Mascoutah, Illinois. For more information, you can call 566-2175. And this Sunday, the Lake House at Buffalo Park in Maryville, Illinois, a benefit fundraiser for Deborah Valencia to defray the cost of ongoing battle with cancer. Donations are appreciated. Again, it's to be held at the Lake House from 2:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. this Sunday, March. Well, hell, that's already over. You know what? You guys can see how organized I am. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I come in, I prepare by going, and I tell you, I take a crap and wipe my ass. I mean, I take a sprig and wipe my kern, and then that's how I prepare for my show. Smithton. Fish Fry, the best fish every Friday during Lent from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Smithton Turner Hall. And last but not least, the Mouse Races. April the 9th, Saturday. Doors open at 6:30. Races start at 7 at our good friends down in Dupo at the Dupo Quarterback Club. You can purchase tickets by any board member or come to the Quarterbacks Club every Saturday and Sunday to purchase your tickets. On this date, March the 25th, 1863, the first Army Medal of Honor was awarded. On this date, March the 25th, 1896, modern Olympics began in Athens, Greece. On this date, March the 25th, 1954, RCA announced it began producing color television sets for the first time at their plant in Bloomington, Indiana. The set, 12 inches, was expected to cost $1,000. On this date, March the 25th, 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. led 25,000 marchers through Montgomery, Alabama to protest the government's denial of voting rights to blacks. On this date, March the 25th, 1970, the Concorde made its first supersonic flight. That's what happened on this date, March the 25th, throughout all these years in our world's history. Pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. Go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling for the best of all three of our stations. You can hear my repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday, and now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Also, like us on Facebook, St. Clair County Freedom Coalition.com or KQQZ1190am.com for the best in the country oldies, or KZQZ for the best in the golden oldies at KZQZ1430.com. Like us on Facebook. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Charlie Meier's on his way in. Roger Cook's supposed to be stopping by. We'll talk with those gentlemen. Roger Cook is the candidate, and I don't like to say Republican candidate because he's a member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. And I've talked to so many Democrats. When they started the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, it wasn't changing Democrats to Republicans or vice versa. It was, listen to this operative word, people, it was uniting uniting Democrats, Republicans, independents, men, women, black and white, for a more efficient, more effective, but most of all, a more honest form of government. Don't give a damn if there's an R or a D behind your name. We take the best qualified candidate. Hell, if I own the Cardinals, you own the Cardinals, and you had the best pitcher, and you say, oh, no, you're a Republican? No, I know you can pitch 15 no-hitters, but that don't make any difference. You're a Republican. See, it's the parties that have separated all of us, just like the politicians have separated us from black and white, because the only way they can win is divide and conquer. Let's get rid of the politicians, and let's keep people like Charlie Myers in, Dwight K., people that are public servants that are going to do for everybody, not just because there's an R or a D behind their name. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. Charlie Myers just pulled up, and I think Roger Cook's getting out of his car, so hell, we've got both of them come together. They probably had breakfast and didn't invite me because they're ashamed, and I don't blame them. They're smart guys, but before they come in, and I just got to say this, you know, they put me on the front page of these hit pieces, and I'm really honored by that, because apparently they're worried about the movement that we've been involved in. But let me tell you, it's not about Bob Romanik. It's a symbolic message, people, that I send. Listen to me. Even a poor white trash son of a bitch like Bob Romanik, a far from perfect individual from the slums of East St. Louis, from the Roosevelt homes. And people say, you keep saying that. I'm not, you know what, I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it. That was my life. I lived my life, and I'm a better man for it. But when poor white trash, an imperfect poor white trash from the slums of East St. Louis can make a positive difference for him and his community, and I have, it's symbolic. Because if a flawed individual, a greatly flawed individual like Bob Romanik, can make a little difference, what are the possibilities of good people like you? What difference can you good people make? So let's unite with us bad people, and let's get rid of the rotten, no good, lousy son of a bitches that are worse than I am. And that's saying a lot. I mean, they want to paint me as Hitler, and maybe I am. But they're the Antichrist. I mean, these guys for 50 years have just destroyed, and they're going to throw crap out on me from now until November. We've got good candidates. Roger Cook's on his way, and a great candidate was the mayor of Belleville. He comes on to be transparent. He don't come on and sit in my lap. We're not joined at the hip. But they're afraid of everybody, so they're going to throw me in with all of them. Take me out of the equation, people, because if you let them do that, they win again. Because it's another 4 years of the culture of corruption, and we don't need that. Charlie Myers just came in. Charlie Myers, and I mean this. Don't have to kiss anybody's ass. This is a man of the people. I'd love to have him as our state representative, because he doesn't care if you're black or white, man or woman, Democrat or Republican. He cares about people. Charlie Meier, state representative out of the 108th District, out of Oakville. Charlie, it's always an honor and a privilege. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's good to be here, Bob. It's always good to be on your show. And I know you got this thing about weathercast and not liking them, but, I'm a farmer and I'm getting older. I almost consider myself an old-timer. And I want to tell you, it's going to rain on Sunday. And if it rains on Sunday, we're going to have 5 more Sundays of rain. And as a farmer wanting to plant a corn crop, that's not going to be a good thing.
And we're gonna make a wager on that. Hell, I've been 5 Sundays in a row. Is that from the Farmer's Almanac?
It rains for 6 Sundays if it rains on Easter. You have 6 Sundays of rain.
Is that true? Okay.
And it usually pans out. And Bob, if we made a wager, we'd have to pay taxes on that.
Well, see, a consummate nice guy. See, I don't know, Charlie. Next time I'm going to make you talk from outside. See, you make me look worse than I do. Hey, Charlie, it's always an honor to have you come in. You drive in from Oakville. I know you've got some things on your plate, but before we do that, I want to apologize to you because you come in here to represent your people and you take crap because you come on my show. And how egregious it is that people listen to me. Charlie Myers is his own man. Charlie Meier is his own man. He comes in to be transparent to you people. And then these rotten bastards, especially in St. Clair County, want to throw him under the bus. He's not my brother. He's not living with me. He represents you people. He's got the guts to come on. And he's told me off the air, Bob, I'll take the heat because my people are going to get the message. My people are going to know that I'm out there for them. And I'm not going to let anybody scare me off. That's what a good soldier does, people. Doesn't let the enemy scare him off. So, Charlie, I want to apologize that you get any heat because of Bob Romanik. And I say, Charlie Meier's not here to endorse me, endorse my candidacy, endorse what I say. I'm sure most of the time he cringes, but that's his right. I still have respect for him because he has respect not so much for me, but for my right to do what I do. So, Charlie, again, I want to apologize. I know you're not here for me. What's going on in your world?
Well, Bob, I just want to say, if the Democrats really wanted to scare the Republicans on that flyer, they should have put my picture on the front of it.
Yeah, Charlie, I thought the same. No, Charlie, I told him, Charlie, before you came in about the first time I met you, you're not a slick politician. You're a true public servant. You come in overalls. You come in with, I hope it was dirt on your shoes. It could have been manure. I don't know. But you know what? You do your job. You take care of your people. And then you go up to Springfield. I don't think you let being a state representative identify you. I think you're more proud to say you're a farmer from Oakville.
Oh, well, that is me. I am a farmer. I just happen to be a state rep right now. And, Bob, if you would have seen my good shoes the other day when I got home, the cows were out. And I had to take them things out in the barn and wash them pretty good afterwards because I had to get the cows in, and I didn't have time to change shoes.
Yeah, well, hey, Charlie, don't come to my house. You're welcome here. Don't come into my house. Hey, you've got a few things that you wanted to talk about before, a couple incidentals you want to get out of the way. And then I want to talk, if you would, Charlie, about the population going down and about Springfield and people. Charlie Myers is one vote. Charlie is trying, I don't give a damn. He's not a Democrat, Republican. He's a man of the people. He's trying to help straighten this out. And I got to say, Charlie, before we get any further, they're blaming Rauner for everything. Now, I don't believe Governor Rauner's perfect, but just like a divorce. There's a husband story, there's a wife story, and then there's a truth somewhere in the middle. And I think that's what we have here in Springfield, don't you?
Yes, we got to get back to the truth, and we got to straighten the state out. But before we get into that, Bob, because I get forgetful and that, I would like to just say, on April 2nd, the New Baden Fire Department's doing their chicken and beer dance, and they're doing it at the American Legion there, and the chicken will be at 9 that night, and the American Legion has wonderful chicken there. And come down and support them. The doors open at 7. It's $25 a person or $40 a couple. Our fire departments, these people go out and risk their life and limb to keep us safe, never knowing when it's going to be called, when they're going to be called, and what they're going to do. And what the whole town of New Baden just done for the young man who was only 10 that just passed away, who wanted to be a policeman when he grew up, Xavier. They came together, and we honored Xavier and made him an honorary policeman. And we lost Xavier just a couple weeks ago. And the tribute that town and the fire departments and police departments did for him was such a wonderful thing, and I was very honored that I was asked to speak at that celebration of life for Xavier. So the fire
our condolences go out to their family too, Charlie. Right?
A great family, and so come out and show your support to the New Baden Fire Department, and then. On this Saturday, even though it's not in my district, I've always been true to helping out 4-H. And the Randolph County 4-H pancake and sausage breakfast is this Saturday at the VFW post down in Sparta. And it's from 7 to 1. And that's always a good thing to come down to and support 4-H programs. These kids turn into our future leaders, and it's a wonderful thing to say.
Hey, Charlie, we'd be both remiss if we didn't talk just a moment about the Murray Center. I want to say, I was with you most of the way in spirit and mind, not with you physically. You fought Quinn, you fought some of the Democrats to keep that Murray Center open, and now it's open. And I tell you, Charlie, if nothing else goes on your tombstone, you help save Murray Center. And when you see the people out there, Charlie, and everybody it ought to be mandatory to go out to see the good people at the Murray Center, because you would get 100% support afterwards. But it's out of sight, out of mind. They don't understand the dynamics for those great people out there.
Well, I was at Murray Center maybe 2 weeks ago. We had Paul Schimpf, we had Cherie, his opponent, we had Sheila Simon, we had Terry Bryant, we had myself, and some other officials out there. And we toured and met the families. And as we were going through there, one of the residents that had been moved into Acilla, that when I went to visit him at Acilla, the Acilla owner threatened to have me locked in jail for visiting Acilla, where he had to be carried back and forth because his wheelchair didn't fit down the hallway from his bedroom into the rest of the house. He was back home at Murray. Yeah. And it made me want to cry. I brought a tear to my eye because I asked him if he was happy to be home, and I could tell by the smile on his face that he was.
Charlie, real quick, and you always say, I know what Acilla is as opposed to the normal housing. What is Acilla that they try to put these good people in?
Well, we have, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of wonderful Acillas, but we have some companies that do not do near the quality a job of running Acillas, and they're substandard. So don't get me wrong, we support Acillas, but these companies where they put four people in and have one person taking care of them that's not qualified. Some people have severe disabilities, and they need very qualified people to take care of them.
Well, you know, those Acillas, too, it's not like the community atmosphere you have at the Murray Center where it's one family and you're not confined to one room and don't know what's going on throughout the community.
In a properly run Acilla, they are part of the community. It's the ones that when they're not properly run and they're put back in a corner of a town and they don't get out, that isn't. So there is a big difference. It's just with everything. It's depending how it's ran and who's running the program.
Charlie, how, and everybody asks me, as you know, I'm running for state representative in 114th. People ask me, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to help get us off center? And I got to be honest with them. I said, I don't know what can be done, but what needs to be done, I think, is not the state representatives, not the state senators. I think the people need to get behind their representatives and say, hey, let's compromise. There's going to have to be some compromise, Charlie. That's the problem. Even me, I want to see things change, but I don't want my life to change, and I think we're all going to have to change a little bit to get off center, don't you?
There's changes going on. I read the Belleville paper the other day. I was a little upset with Mr. Hoffman's letter to try to stop the Rounder from taking over Chicago schools. Because if you look at it, he's saying he's going to pass petitions and keep our money down here. Well, our money's been going to Chicago a long time, and allowing the Chicago school districts to go down the path they're going is just going to take more state of Illinois money. We have to change it. And so I was upset with his letter to the editor saying that the state should not take over the Chicago school system. You know, those people in Chicago need to go out there and pay the same taxes that you pay, Bob, and the same taxes I pay. We are assessed at 33 1/3% of our property value, and that's what we pay taxes on. Up in Chicago, they only pay on 10%. Why do they get such a tax break, and then they want us to pay for it, and Mr. Hoffman wants that to allow to keep on going on? I don't think that that's fair. I think that we've got to go out there, and we've got to go ahead and straighten Chicago out. Why do our teachers down here have to start out at about $28,000 a year pay salary, when a teacher up there gets to start at around $60,000 or $65,000 a year.
Yeah.
Do you think that's right, Bob? I don't. Do I want that to continue? The Chicago gets all those wonderful perks, and you and me down here and our teachers down here don't get those perks? I don't think that's right. So I want to change on that, Bob. And I think that anybody that signs on Representative Hoffman's petition against Rauner on that is just saying that's okay. Leave the taxes at 10% up there. Let those hand-picked school board members be up there, and let that district, who has not made a pension payment for 10 years, let them keep on going.
Yeah. I said the same thing, Charlie. You took my thunder. This madman Madigan, and people down here, you don't understand. Charlie's fighting not just for the Republicans in his district. I'm not going to fight just for the Republicans. We're going to fight for the people. The St. Clair County below Springfield area has been forgotten about. I bet you people didn't know. I bet you they didn't know, Charlie, that the people in Chicago pay 10% and we pay 33%. It takes education like that to understand, and that's why I say I will go up and I will fight Mad Madigan. I don't give a damn. They can get what they want in Chicago as long as we in the 108th District of Charlie's, 114th, and everybody in Southern Illinois gets their fair share. It's time that we make a change, Charlie, and change sometime is difficult, but change has to be made.
Change has to be made. There was $1 billion given to the state of Illinois to help our schools with the worst building problems. And out of that $1 billion, $500 million of it instantly went to Chicago, and the other $500 million was to be used for the rest of the state of Illinois. And south of Champaign, only $2 million went south of Champaign. That went to a school at Sandoval. Nothing else for Southern Illinois, south of Champaign. I just don't think that's right either, Bob.
No, Charlie, you know what? You're fighting the fight up there, and I know it's going to be difficult. But, all we can do at this point, Charlie, is, as you do, expose and fight the fight. Listen, we talked earlier, Charlie, off the air, excuse me, about the Metro East population has dropped. I see here St. Clair County has lost close to 12,000 people. You people in St. Clair County, you know what that tells you? People are moving out. This culture of corruption is too much. They're moving out. 5,000 moved out of Madison County. And it says here, Bond, Clinton, Madison, Monroe had experienced more births than deaths last year, and their population, I think, is up a little bit, Charlie. I guess that's God country out where you're at, or are the political people do right by the citizens, and so they don't want to move out of the area? Well,
our citizens are moving out of the state, and nobody's moving back in, Bob. And if you look at it, if a family of four moves into Illinois, as soon as you move across that border, you've gained part of the state debt. So a family of four now owes about $185,000 just for moving back into Illinois. So why would you want to do that to your family? We had that 66% tax increase so that we could pay off our bills a few years ago. And everybody had about a $28,000 tax per our debt per person. After we implemented that new tax increase, 5 years later, we owe about $45,000 apiece. They spent $2 for every dollar they brought in with that 66% tax increase. And, Madigan says, well, we've got to pass a budget. We got to have a budget. Well, we do need a budget. We need an honest budget with honest funding and no more gimmicks. And we've got to learn to live within that budget. And he says, after we pass that budget, then we'll discuss the issues of not having enough revenue in the state, and we'll discuss workman's comp, and we'll go into all these things and tort reform. But first, we got to have the budget. Well, when we look at everything that Madigan has done over the years, he's never allowed any of these changes. So we've got to go in there and we've got to tie it together. We got to make sure we have changes so that we can keep our college-educated students here with good jobs, and we can bring families back into Illinois instead of them moving out.
Charlie Meier, State Representative, 108th District out of Oakville. Our guest will be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest, America's bi-state voice of freedom Radical Radio. And we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. We've got Roger Cook, but before I talk to Roger, I want to congratulate Officer Roy Mickens. He's having his retirement party at the Casino Queen Ballroom tomorrow night. And Roy, you're a great police officer. You're a great asset to your community of East St. Louis. Be proud of what you've done throughout your career. Roy Mickens, the best of luck on your retirement celebration, buddy. And I got to say one more thing. We got so many callers. Everybody's giving me names about this guy that we still don't have identity on the pedophile protester. I said the guy I think lives with his mom, don't have a job. No, he doesn't have a job because they tell me that he's a habitual lawsuiter, that he's got money from this lawsuit, that lawsuit. We're going to pinpoint who this actual pedophile protester is. They tell me he comes out to all the protests. Most of the time he's by himself. I don't know who this guy is or what he does, but they say he's nuts and says he makes his money by frivolous and fraudulent lawsuits, and one of these days we're going to get to the bottom of it. But if you see somebody out there, he could or could not be the pedophile protester if he's protesting an event anywhere, Caseyville, Belleville, anywhere. Keep your young children away from him. That's all I can say. With me, a good man for the community, the former mayor of Belleville, unlike Bob Romanik, the ex-con. He's not the ex-mayor of Belleville. He's the former mayor of Belleville. Did a great job. He beat the culture of corruption, and they spent millions to get him out. After 4 years of his still being there, the town of Belleville would be in good shape. But Roger Cook, you're the candidate for St. Clair County Board Chairman. How the hell you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Bob. Let me first start off by saying happy Good Friday to you and Charlie and your listening audience. It's a big day for us Catholics, and it's going to be a beautiful day. But what I want to start off with after hearing Charlie, that's the type of representative we need in the state of Illinois, throughout the state. And Charlie, I can't tell you how impressive it is to see somebody that tells the truth and is transparent to your people. So,
and not afraid to tell the truth.
No, and thank you. And then I'm going to say to you, Bob, I can't tell you where we would be in this county in this election if it wasn't for the voice of this radio station. I come in here to be transparent, to build the Freedom Coalition, to go down to below the hill, to East St. Louis, to Cahokia, to Allerton, to Brooklyn, to Washington Park, and try to convince people it's time for change in St. Clair County. Let's bring all of us together to break up this culture of corruption. And we have worked hard. We have had success. We have a path to victory. United we stand, divided we fall. We're going to bring honest, open government back to St. Clair County, and we're going to work hard all the way to November 8th.
Roger, and we're all putting this together. April the 30th, people. It's $500 a ticket. We're going to have a minimum of 500. The first 500 get in the door. It's going to be the St. Clair County Freedoms Coalition first annual, not a political dinner, but the first annual salute to America, and we're going to be strong. We're going to have entertainment and hope you people will show up. We're putting that together for April the 30th on a Saturday. And Roger, I know right after the dinner that we're going to hit it off. We're going to be out in the streets every day. We're not going to send nasty mailers out. We're going to go talk to the people of St. Clair County, let them see who we are, what we're about, and let the people make the decision without all this lying and propaganda that these bastards in St. Clair County put out.
Bob, unlike other organizations or movements, what I'm excited about at this dinner, it's about a salute to America and bringing all of us together, getting to know each other, and we're going to pack that room. And it's going to be a patriotic theme. It's going to be a salute. We're Americans. We're proud of this country, and we're going to make it better for all of us here in St. Clair County. And
that's Democrats, Republicans invited, men, women, black and white, everybody. But I got to say, and I'm not politically correct, the Muslims, maybe you don't show up because we don't want nothing to happen to you. But, Roger, we'll be looking forward to seeing all the candidates. And let me tell you, people on the other side, come buy a ticket. This is not a political function. This is a function to salute America, people. So let's all get together. We can be on different sides of the political aisle, but we're all Americans. We all walk the same line. Mr. Roger Cook, candidate for St. Clair County Board Chairman. The best of luck, Roger. I know you're going to hit it off on May the 1st, and you're going to be out there until November, and I think the people will decide that you are by far the best candidate, the best choice, and I think you'll bring St. Clair County back to where it should be.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you again for allowing myself, Carl, people like Charlie and other candidates throughout Southern Illinois, the voice to reach the people.
And hey, opposition. Charlie doesn't have any opposition. He's such a good candidate. My opposition, Roger Cook's opposition, Carl's opposition. You can have equal time. I'm not going to pay $10,000 like I used to offer, but you can have equal time because I'm not a hypocrite. We're not hypocrites at the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. We believe everybody has a right to exercise their First Amendment. So any candidate that's against us, Jay Hoffman, come on. Everybody. LaToya Greenwood, come on. You're welcome because we're Americans first. Charlie Myers, I'm going to give you the last word, buddy.
I just wanted to say, yesterday I was looking at more bills were submitted that I've written, and House Bill 4673 has been signed to the Executive Committee, and that is the bill that would prohibit the judges from dropping out of a race, the 60% race, and just on being on a regular ballot. So it's actually assigned to a committee. Whether it'll be allowed to be heard in the committee or not, I do not know, but I was very happy to be one of the first people to help put money into the campaign to fund the lawyers here to get this up to hopefully the Supreme Court so we get a ruling on it. You know, I believe it's got to be changed. What these judges have done is wrong. You know, our Supreme Court Justice Lloyd Carmeier had to run on 60%, and I believe these judges should too. So I'm happy to say that bill is moving. And before I go off the air, I just want to wish everybody a very blessed Easter. It's a time for us to think about our past and think about our future, and take time and really sit down and think about what you do and how it affects other people, and enjoy your family. Get together with them. Give them a call if you can't get together with them, but enjoy being with your family and enjoy this Easter, because it is really a blessed time of the year. Thank you.
Yeah, Charlie Meier, State Representative, 108th District out of Oakville, a great leader for his community. Mr. Roger Cook, candidate for St. Clair County Board Chairman. He'll do a great job. We're out of time, everybody. Happy Easter Sunday, this Sunday. And Charlie's right. You know, get in the car with your family, not literally, of course, because spend as much time with family and friends, because that ride of life is very, very short. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back on Monday. I'm going to forego our normal closing for today, and I do want to wish everybody a great Good Friday, a great Easter. Spend time with your families, because there may be a time when you can't. So everybody, friend and foe, be safe. We want to keep even our political enemies safe, because they have beautiful families to go home to. And to come Monday, we'll be back in the political arena. Until then, everybody be safe.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where...